Well, a very good afternoon to you, and thank you so much for staying with us. You are through to the second hour of SA Today with me, Unati Pagyasha. Let's start now with breaking news just in. We understand councillors in the Tshwane Metro in Gauteng have voted in support of a motion of no confidence to remove DA Mayor Cilliers Brink. For more on this, let's now bring in our SABC News reporter who has been monitoring developments for us throughout the day, Patricia Fasagi in Tshwane. Patricia, all indications now saying that Cilliers Brink has indeed been removed as the mayor of Tshwane. Bring us the latest.
Definitely, of course, after it was put to vote, we understand that the opposition parties got what they wanted. And as we spend the whole day and whole morning really putting our eyes on the ANC to see whether they will go ahead with the motion that they have tabled. And this after there was a lot of speculation that they might extend a lifeline to Cilliers Brink and things might turn around. But of course, this morning, they came out very strong, saying that they're sticking to their guns and they're here to remove him, and that has been done successfully. So I'm now joined by TK Ngizahia, who is the ANC's secretary in Gauteng. Thank you so much for joining us. This is what the people of Tshwane were promised. It's been a process. There were other motions that could not go through. But ultimately, what do you make of this victory?
You can hear the people of Tshwane ululated outside. This is for the workers. This is for the people in the townships. This is for general people of Tshwane. They've been outside for a very long time. So as we speak now, this is their revolution. They led it from the front. They've been marching for the longest of time. It's been 8 years since they've been run by Democratic Alliance. So as we speak today, they really are being given a lifeline. Brink is out, who has been behaving like a racist, who didn't care about our people. So today is historical, really. We really believe that the new leadership of Tshwane will change the outlook of Tshwane, and many people will really warasa masha. So I really believe that this is historical indeed. We want to thank our leadership for working with us. We want to thank the people of Tshwane, the regional leadership of Tshwane, but how the workers of Tshwane have been consistent about their cries, how they are treated in this municipality, how things have been happening for the longest of time. So I really thank everyone who has contributed, all the political parties who came together and say we've got one mission. We must not be about partisan, but we must be about people of Tshwane. And we really believe that things will change. They've been outside for the longest of time. So we're very proud of our councillors. We're very proud of the engagements we've had with all the political parties. So yeah, today history has been made.
What do we do with that history? It's one thing to mobilize all political parties to remove a sitting leader, a mayor in this instance. But thereafter, what happens? Because the concern about for a lot of people is the instability. What plan does the ANC have to ensure that there's no political instability, there is no service delivery that is going to be affected? Because you ultimately criticize him for poor service delivery, among others. But what is it that you are going to do with this victory to make sure that things can only get better moving forward?
We need finances that are stabilized. We need to make sure that we change the situation of Tshwane as far as the finances are concerned. But secondly, the relationship and the working relationship between the province, national and the local government, very, very critical. We must not play politics. Because the biggest challenge that you find is that you find local government not allowing the provincial government to intervene, or even national, because people are playing politics. They don't want this one to claim. For instance, we have an issue of water in Hammanskraal, which has been a stumbling block for the longest of time, because the local government, which was led by DA, was not allowing the ANC government to intervene.
But that started even under the ANC.
The point that we are making is that that thing happened for 7 years. As we are speaking today, there's an intervention. I'm sure you know about that. So the point that I'm making is that you need need a seamless government. You need cooperation, but you don't need a bigger brother approach when you're in the coalition. If you look at all the coalitions that were rising and were running in the province, they're seamless. There's a good working relationship because we understand these coalitions. They're never predictable, but if you do have a big brother attitude, they will catch up with you. You don't need to do that. So you need to create a platform where everybody will engage and everybody feels like they're part of it. But you take the communities along, because you never leave the communities as we're working. So a proper budget, when you're doing the budget of the municipality, is very, very critical, because when you don't do that, you're going to leave the people from behind. So we will speak to civil movements, we'll speak to different political organizations, we'll speak to churches, we'll speak to professionals, academics, who are bringing everybody to be part of this government.
Of course, now the focus is a new mayor, a new power-sharing deal that needs to now open up new discussions. Would that perhaps open up a possibility for the DA to be part of this power-sharing deal? Are you looking at that? Would you still be working with them?
Look, I think the ANC continues to engage everyone. Even today, even yesterday, we don't stop engaging because we've got an appreciation.
So the DA might be part of the new coalition?
They are engagements. Currently, they were engaged. There was no agreement. We continued the motion with the parties that are working with us. As a province, we've got an agreement and an understanding with parties that are working with us. That does not leave out an engagement with another party. It doesn't. We have never left DA even in the province. We have never. It's them who decided to walk away because it was their way or highway. And when it comes to our way or highway in the ANC, in the province, we don't agree with that attitude. We can't agree on a program and you change in the middle of the game because you want things to be done a certain way. This is not a grand coalition engagement. This is a partnership. This is what ANC calls the GNU, where we are bringing all parties. It's not a DA and an ANC coalition. And that's where our problems have been with the Democratic Alliance in the province.
Now in this new formation, obviously, possibly Action SA will be part of it, the DA as well. With their current tensions, do you not think that that might be a threat to this new formation with two political parties that are going in with so much tension into this new formation?
I don't think we must speak about engagement that have not happened. So you immediately assume that there is an engagement with this party or that party on agreement. We're not there.
But we're looking at the possibilities.
But it's not there. Allow us to go to engagements. We'll come back and tell you what is the way forward. Because the ANC, as we speak, in terms of the framework, will lead engagements and will engage all political parties that have worked with us today and those who have not.
Who would possibly lead Tshwane? Who would possibly take the mayoral position? That's what everybody is wondering. I know it's early, but I have to still ask you, even if you're not going to give me an answer.
The African National Congress does have a framework, but the African National Congress is not an arrogant party. The ANC firstly says the people of Tshwane must have better living conditions. So we will engage all these parties and agree on a medium to long-term plan, including service deliveries and other issues. Once we have found each other on those issues and agree, then we can speak about who must lead. Because if we don't agree on the shared medium-term and the long-term program, then we'll have problems. So, and also the mechanism to manage the local government of unit, we need to agree. When do we meet? How do we make sure that we agree on issues? How do we differ? We continue to be different political parties. We are standing here because we want the interest of people of Tshwane to be serviced, and that's what we are interested in.
Tshwane's finances, that remains a topical, hot political potato. Whoever's going to come in, the new mayor, the new mayoral committee, they ultimately have to inherit this crisis, if one may call it that. We're going into a very important elections, the local elections. As the ANC in the province, are you not worried that you might be setting up that individual for failure because this task is a mammoth one. You criticize Cilliers Brink saying that he failed to address this particular issue. Are you not worried that you might be inheriting a crisis here?
I'm worried when politics are about finances and they are not about humanity and the people. Because it seems like when we speak about power and the influence and the politics it has and how it can change the people's lives, we only think about finances. So the ANC can't go to coalition in Tshwane and lead government because the Tshwane government is in a financial crisis, but DA can. That's a wrong argument. We are not there. We are taking Tshwane purely because we know it's not servicing our people. It's in the interest of provincial national government to make sure that Tshwane metropolitan is functioning. So it will be the interest of all these spheres of government to make sure that the city of Tshwane is functioning, including the residents of Tshwane, by the way. When they feel not serviced, why would they pay their services? They might even walk away. But when they see that the services are coming to them, irrespective of where they are, who they represent, what are they about, but they are being given respect and services because they're people of Tshwane, the attitude will change. Government at the metro areas, its main source, it's people, it's services. Once there are no services, people don't respond. So we will not go into a coalition only for the sake of the financial standing of that municipality. What about our people? We're a revolutionary movement that must always care about its people. Always. If it means we must go and suffer with them, pull them out of those situations that they are in, we should do that. We must make sure we defend the workers of Tshwane. We must make sure the residents get services. We must make sure that the living conditions of people of Tshwane change. We must make sure that we stop the crime that is happening in Tshwane. That is our responsibility as the African National Congress. It can't only be about finances, because I've been hearing that argument, and I'm not saying it's a wrong argument, but I'm saying before anything else, we're a political party, we're a revolutionary movement that must be there and relieve its people at all material conditions.
How will the revolutionary movement protect the people of Tshwane from its own revolutionaries should there be acts of malfeasance? You know what I'm talking about, possibility of corruptions. We're already hearing stories that some people are eyeing certain tenders, but obviously if you are serious about putting the interests of the people first, then you must also make sure that the right attitude is demonstrated to protect the interests of the people.
The funny part about your question is that you are speaking about people who are eyeing tenders. You're not telling me about people who are going out who are eyeing tenders. Whenever
you are coming in, we are now paving the way forward.
Just saying, I've never heard of those who are inside eyeing tenders. Whenever we must ascend, we are eyeing tenders. It's a very wrong way of always doing things when it comes to us. By the way, we have experience in governing. The best time this municipality was run is when it was Comrade Sputla Ramkhupa. That's when the people of Tshwane were at work. That's when there was harmony. Of course there were challenges. There will be challenges even moving forward. But we've got experience as the ANC. And we'll use this experience that we have to turn this city around. So this perception that we want to create at all times, that whenever they are coming in, it means there'll be corruption. We can't allow it. It must not continue. The ANC is in the renewal path. And the ANC is serious about renewal. And it will renew it even in Tshwane. There is also a commitment from the leadership of Tshwane. They will work with the provincial and national leadership in making sure that whatever happens here does not divide them, it's not factional, but it's uniting them, including respecting other political parties.
All right, thank you so much. Of course, this signals the beginning of a new era that will be ushering in this, as talks are obviously the focus moving forward. You've heard here from the ANC saying that they will be talking to all parties. They are holding the majority in council in terms of the number of seats. So it is them that will lead these discussions to determine exactly how the future of Tshwane will look like, who will be leading Tshwane, and who will ultimately be making up the mayoral committee, and them giving the assurance that this time around things will be done right. They they will be picking men and women that are fit for the job, and of course the interests of the people will be prioritized. Of course, we have to see and just monitor, is this what will happen? But most importantly, who exactly will be the next Tshwane Mayor? Who exactly will that individual be? And will that person be fit for purpose? It's back to studio.
Absolutely, Patricia. Thank you so much for that. Of course, breaking news there in the hour. Patricia Fasaki there for us in Tshwane. There you have it. Tshwane Mayor Cilliers Brink has been removed as mayor. 120 members voted in favour, 87 against, one person having abstained there in that council meeting. The ANC's Gauteng province leader TK Ngza there telling my colleague Patricia Fasaki that this is a historic win for the ANC and its partners in Tshwane. Of course, the big question is it a historic win for the people in Tshwane who only seek service delivery? But of course, this is a developing story. There's a breaking news story. We'll continue then to give you the latest reaction in as far as these developments are concerned. The ANC having asked earlier at the council meeting to adjourn the meeting until there is a new mayor. It would essentially be the sixth mayor in Tshwane since 2016. There have already been 5 mayors in the city of Tshwane since then. Of course, developing story there. We'll get reaction for you a little bit later on.